Hi and welcome back to DeVlog here at StrangeForms Festival, and I am here with one of our favourites. Liam from Hidden Mothers is with us.
Hello.
Hello. So, since I last spoke to you, I last spoke to Ari actually, it was just before the album came out.
Yes.
Now the album's come out and you've had it circulating. How are you feeling about it all?
Pretty great.
Yeah.
It's been a real, it's been 5 and a bit months, coming up for 6 months now since we released it. And it's been incredible. Like the reception's been fantastic. People have really responded to the new material. And obviously, I know we made a joke over the fact that it took us 4 years to get it out, but we weren't sure. Because we'd been away for so long, we're like, do people still care? Like, is this, is this something that's going to interest people? But, it's been really good. The response has been really positive. So, yeah, it's been nice.
Absolutely. And the transformation in the band is something that was well noted across the board, that, the clean sung parts that have come through so beautifully on the record, that dynamic really shone through. Was that something that made you nervous? That it wasn't a massive stylistic change, but it was enough to make an impact?
No, I don't know about nervous, but obviously, on the EP that we did previously, there was 30 seconds of clean vocals across the 18-minute runtime of the record, and obviously there's quite a bit more than that on the record now. So we didn't know if we'd face accusations of going soft or whatever, but I think that there's enough sort of more extreme stuff on the record to show that we're not going soft, but also the clean vocals add another layer that we'd be silly not to use. Like, if you have a weapon in your arsenal, why not use it? And Luke's voice is something that we criminally underused earlier, if anything. I think, and people have responded really well to it.
Yeah, Luke especially has a world-class vocal on him.
Don't tell him that.
No, I'm talking to you. Obviously, he won't watch this. He's too much of a big star now to watch this.
He won't watch this.
But the tracks like Granddaddy and stuff like that, just his grandfather. Sorry. Just like he's got this sort of like Tom Waitsy sort of husky sort of thing going on. It's just extraordinary. And I was speaking to your label bosses the other day, Sammy, the Employed to Serve gig, and like Hidden Mothers was one of the highlights of what we were talking about, Church Road, and their knack of just picking the right act for the right time.
Yeah.
Yourselves alongside Lowen as well, another notable
Yeah, I mean, I think it's testament to Church Road that they can sign a band like us and sign a band like Lowen and have it all make total sense for their overall vision, because obviously Lowen are absolutely nothing like us, but the thing that they do share with us is a willingness to try and do something very much their own way and very much not chasing a particular trend or anything like that. And I think that's the kind of band that Church Road sort of gravitates towards, is the band's kind of doing their own thing in an interesting way. So yeah, it's a great family to be part of.
Absolutely, and it almost seems like I'm part of the fan club of Church Road, because it comes up a lot. Church Road comes up a lot, but the fact that there is a label there that I think is a rarity, in that if you see their name attached to something, it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think there's labels that I can think of off the top. American Beauty moment there. I think there's maybe off the top of my head 5 labels in the world where you anything that comes out on that label, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
There's Church Road, obviously, Death Wish, The Flenser. Actually, there might only be 3.
Pelagic.
Pelagic, yeah, absolutely Pelagic, yeah. And Big Scary Monsters signs a lot of really good stuff as well. But yeah, it's nice to have that stamp of quality.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been on the road quite extensively. You were in Cardiff last night.
Yep.
I noticed, especially again with the Church Road thing, but with yourselves and Lowen, how it's noticeable, the difference in both bands in terms of confidence and stage presence and just general, you own the place when you're playing these days. Is that because it's bolstered by these releases behind you? There's this newfound confidence?
Maybe a little bit, but I think that's only because we know now that people know the songs. So before, we were playing a full set of songs that nobody knew or had ever heard, up until Arctangent last year was the first time we played a show with a released song in it for a couple of years. So it's I think the confidence has come more from just the amount of gigs we've been doing since we kind of became a 4-piece and started this sort of new chapter. We've just been hammering it and just playing as much as we can, and we haven't had a dud yet, which is nice. We've had a pretty strong run of shows, and every one we get a little bit more confident, a little bit tighter, and it's going good.
Absolutely. You're kind of known in the scene as being a bit of a tastemaker. Well, people listen to your recommendations. So while you're here, who should we be checking out at the moment? Who's caught your ear recently?
Oh, that's a really good question. Trying to think of some bands that we maybe haven't already spoken about before, because I feel like we've had this conversation a couple of times.
I always ask you every time.
So last night in Cardiff, there was some really good bands on that bill. If anybody hasn't already listened to Slimo, they're really good. El Muno, your audience probably already know. Love Rarely were there yesterday.
Oh, Love Rarely.
They clashed with us, unfortunately, but they're a great band that everybody should check out.
They're local.
Local, They played at StrangeForms last year and absolutely killed it. And then I've been listening to a band called Snooze.
Oh, Snooze,
from America.
Love them.
I think they're from America anyway.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And what else has been really good this year? The Eyes album, the guy from LLNN, Victor from LLNN's side project. Been listening to that. That came out on Friday. That's wicked. But my album of the year is Death Heaven so far. Yeah, that album's incredible. So
I do love that album. My album of the year so far is Imperial Triumph and Gold Star.
I haven't listened to that yet. I struggle with them a little bit because it's so...
Well, you might be surprised by
intense.
This one.
Yeah.
You might be surprised by this one. It's a
so
little more user-friendly.
It's almost like obtuse, I know that's the point, but I'm not having fun.
Give it a spin.
I will.
So, what now? Normally I say this to bands, what does the rest of summer hold for you? But I already know what the rest of summer holds for you a lot. A lot. So where are we going to see you this summer? Because I know, but they don't.
Well, actually, our busiest part of the year has kind of now been and gone. We had a run of shows with Nylon a couple of months ago, did a couple of shows with Mastiff last month, and then we've just done Noise Fest last night, StrangeForms today. When's this likely to go out?
This is likely to go out in about 5 weeks' time.
Okay. So in 5 weeks' time, if it's sort of the end of May, we're playing Uprising in Leicester at the end of May, the May Bank Holiday weekend. We've got June off, which is nice, to be honest. We played a lot of shows recently. But then in July, we're doing 2,000 Trees, which is obviously the big one. But we're also doing an all-dayer in Reading as well. The Face Bar, which is a venue that's been around forever. And that's on the Saturday, the 26th or 27th of July. We're going to try and book something around the Nottingham, Birmingham area for the Sunday.
Nice.
There's nothing there yet. But the summer is actually not as busy as this period has just been, this first couple of months of the year.
You've got a couple of big hitters in there.
Trees is going to be amazing. That is something that... Because not that we ever thought, we'll definitely get booked for Arctangent, but Arctangent always felt that little bit more realistic than Trees, because Trees is a little bit more mainstream. And, they're booking bands like Alexis on Fire and Coheed and Cambria, and we're not that scene. Do you know what I mean? But we're playing it, so
that's testament to the new material that you can fit in on a bill like that, which is really good. Those melodic elements give you the ability to play somewhere like Arctangent and play Trees.
Yeah, I kind of always want to hang on to that sort of ability to kind of do different things. I always think of a band like Harriet as a prime example of the right way to do it, because they played Slandunk and they played Damnation. Now, it doesn't really get much more polar opposite than that as far as UK events, but they worked at both. And I would very much like to kind of let, for people to know that just, we're up for it. Yeah. And even if you think, I'm not sure if that's a good fit for Hidden Mothers, we'll give it a go anyway. We'll play your hardcore festival, we'll play your pop punk festival, we'll play your grindcore event, just whatever.
You got the lot. You got the lot. Well, if you haven't heard Erosion, Avulsion, go out and hear it now.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for talking to me again today.
Yeah, thank you.
Last question.
Go on.
I'm asking everyone this, and I've had everyone from Buzz from the Melvins, David Yout, they've all answered this question, right? So, if the National Board of Education came to you and said, we want a track that you think kids should have on the national curriculum for them to listen to before they're 18 and before they're adults.
Okay.
any genre, what do you think would be a track that would set them up for the world?
Set them up for what, in terms of understanding music or in terms of understanding the world?
Both. Well, or either. You know, we've had many different takes on this.
This is a really good question, and I wish you'd asked me it with a bit more notice. I mean, I don't want to say something too obvious, but the first thing that popped into my head was like Killing in the Name, because I think my first Rage Against the Machine was my first introduction to the fact that music can deal with real world kind of political issues, and obviously that song came out in 1992, but you know,
still
relevant. Like, some of those who work forces are the same that burn crosses is still very much an issue, like in 2025. So that's a really good one.
Perfect. I've been waiting for someone to pull that one.
Yeah, but I mean, you could probably, any song off of the first 2 Rage Against the Machine records will probably teach you some pretty important stuff about the world.
Awesome. Thank you for talking to me today, mate.
Cheers, George.
As ever.